Hello, I'm Doug and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today we're episode number 4 of Christmas wine tastings for 2022. And today we have 3 white wines from Argentina and Australia and Spain. Out of order. There's a special thing about this bottle we'll get to when we get there. So I'm going to go through and nose and taste these things and evaluate the color according to Madeline Piquette's wine folly method. So this book has been my main guide, and her YouTube channel is really good. And it goes back further than this particular edition of the book. But this is where I'm learning most of my stuff, along from others on YouTube. And that's how I'm trying to pick up to become more experienced in tasting and more skilled in tasting. Poured the wines. I got them out of the bottles with my cork in, so this bottle still has the cork in it and it's half full. A couple of pump corkscrews, but they seal themselves back up. This one had a screw cap, and now it's got a Corvin screw cap with a rubber septum. So you go through and pull it out. As the wine leaves, it's displaced with argon. So there's no oxidation taking place, ideally, and this wine could last quite a while in the bottle as it is, even though I've taken some. So white wines usually only last a week or less, even if you refrigerate them. So I've already taken the temperature of these and the pH, because I'm a nerdy chemist and that's what I do. And I've already written down all the information, the basic information on the headers of this evaluation form. So we're going to look at color, aromas from the nose, and then taste it. So let's get into it. So this first one is from Argentina, the Mendoza region, and it's called Duberon Vineyards. And I'm not sure if it's actually a place or just a story about the Duberon guy, a Frenchman who went to Argentina looking for one of the best places to make Chardonnay. So, putting this down against white paper, this is really yellow. I'm seeing quite a bit of color there. I expect a couple of these are oaked. I've tasted them before and one of them seems unoaked. So that should pop up in the tasting as we go through, because the oak has quite an effect, which I'm used to or somewhat familiar with from tasting whiskeys that have been aged in oak also. So we'll just go into the Argentinian Chardonnay and start sniffing. I'm getting a fruity smell. It's somewhat in common with the Sauvignon Blancs we had on episode 2. It's fruity, light, airy, fresh, with hints of citrus. There might be a lime or lemon note. And there might be a couple of extra wine, outside of wine notes, but I'm not sure how to describe it all. Some of them might be buttery, creamy, milky. Bang, and I keep banging. So the fruits are the lightest things you could imagine. Faint lemon, faint lime, maybe apple or pear, something light, and then a little muted as well. So let me write down a couple things. I'm looking and not really getting anything like baking spices, other kind of food items. So nothing there, so I'll just start tasting. Wow, it's a little tart and a little tanniny at the end. It's got a tanniny finish that I'm not sure I picked up before. So I'm going to say mildly acidic. This is surprising me. Yeah. All the tannins are in the finish, and it's hitting me as from oak, and it's bigger than I've had in most white wines. I don't usually drink Chardonnay. And the mouthfeel is nice. It's not just, it doesn't just seem like water or water and alcohol. There's a extra coating property to it. So wow, that's nice. So it's fresh and bright from the acidity. It is fruity through the mid palate, and then it finishes with a little bit of a grip from tannins. And overall, it's really friendly. Oh wow, I like that one. That's good. I can tell it's been oaked. And that's all. That's a big plus. That's a big surprise. This is a medium body, I would say, which is pretty high for a white. Lots of them are so light and fluffy, fruity. You can't say they have a lot of body, but this one does, I'd say. So, okay, cleanse. Okay, so the next one is from Penfolds in Australia, South Australia it says here. This is a 2018 vintage of Penfolds Koonunga Hill. And they mention oak treatment in the back, unlike the other ones, which talk more about marketing things than the wine. So I don't know if Koonunga Hill's a place or just a name that they need to give it because they have so many wines. Penfolds is well known and a quality producer and well respected. And we have a 12.5% ABV here. So we will look at color. This is also a nice yellow. Is it gold or is it yellow? It's tending towards gold. I thought this was yellow. This is... yeah, this one's golder. So I'm thinking both of these are in the yellow family, color-wise. And now to the nose. Oh wow, that's different nose. It's a something says it's going to be a little sharper. It's gonna it's a lime, a lemon, a wood note. I'm not sure what it is, but it surprised me. It's different than this guy. It's not fruity. I'm not kidding. Just bare fruit on the nose at all. Something's going to be crisp and refreshing about it, I can tell, but it's not because it tastes like fresh fruits or smells like fresh fruits. So that's striking out there. Maybe I'll smell it again after I taste it. Oh, wow, what was that? Now there's something I recognize from whiskey. Let me try to pick it out. I'd call it vanilla. Now it's, okay. That's why it's confusing me. I don't look for vanilla in wine. Oh, on the palate. It is softer acidity-wise. It's not as bright as this guy or as tart. It's a tad sweeter, probably. And maybe the vanilla is filling in some of the holes where I was expecting a fruit or a lime or lemon. It's just a little bit sweeter. Not sure I'm getting tannins on the finish either. So it's interesting. It's good. I don't remember prices on these bottles, but I've been able to find them and I'll put them in the description. I'll put them on the screen as I'm tasting and smelling also, so you'll be able to see what these are. And so this one's appealing and nice and different in several points from this one. Yes, less acidity. Still, there could be a little tannin in the finish. And it's quite a bit lighter than this one. Alcohol seems about the same. So that is a nice wine. And would go with lots of things. On the lighter end of the flavor or body scale. So I'm going to mark this medium to medium minus body. And not quite as dry. It's that one. And I detected less acidity by flavor, by tasting, but this has the lowest pH. This has a 3.6 pH, and this had a 3.9. But the perception is this one's tartar, sharper, more acidic. So our tasting apparatus is not always very objective. Or it might change from day to day too. So this one has a lot of appeal. Don't really have a preference between these two because they're different. I like the differences. It'd be a mood thing. Okay, Penfold's Koonunga Hill, very good. And maybe aging since 2018 has done something to it, made it better or made it worse. Lots of white wines, you want to drink them pretty young. They don't really get any better in the bottle. And the acidity here might make it age-worthy. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. I need to know more, of course. Okay, now this one has a sad story because of the cork. So this brand is called Red Thumb Natural Wines. Natural farming practices, minimal preservatives, meaning sulfites. No sugar added, native yeast fermentation, dry farmed, vegan friendly, 2019 vintage. And I tasted it a couple times. I pulled out some with my Coravin and then found out it was a Syn cork. Syn corks don't seal back up. The hole stays. So natural corks, I've never had any problem. A lot of people didn't like the Coravin system because it didn't work with Syn corks, but I thought, I see them all the time in whiskey. This is the first one I've come across in 40 bottles probably. Since I got my Coravin. And it fails. So that's why after I figured out what the issue was, the blue blue foamy hard polymer foam, I have to tell you, it's a Syn cork. I wasn't paying attention to it. It's off my radar once I never really saw any. So I just pulled the cork and poured it. So I'll want to finish the bottle quickly now. But we will go ahead and oh yes, this color is deeper. This is a much darker yellow than the other two were. I think it's gold. She has different scales for white. Straw, yellow, gold, amber, and brown. So compared to the other two, this is way to the gold side, I'd say. So it would be a yellow in some scales or some schemes, but I would call that gold today, from what I'm seeing. So yeah, it's darker and deeper. On the nose, wow, not much. The lightest muted fruits, lime and lemon. Faint, faint, faint. I could convince myself about apple and pear if I sat around long enough with it, but it is almost blank. I think I can detect a little alcohol by nose. So no point smelling more. Let's just drink. Oh wow. Not acidic. Not fruity. Oh wow, this is very neutral. Wow. So it seems like a good structured wine. It's got lines and edges and places, but it's not fruity. It's not refreshing. It's very light. It is sweeter than this thing. It might be similar. I don't know if it's bone dry or about like this one. Oh wow, no, I don't know what to say about that. I would say no oak, no sign of oak, no treatment. It's like a Chablis made from the Chardonnay grape and not oaked in Chablis, a region of France. I've had a couple of good ones of those, and they were kind of striking. It tells you the difference between oaked and unoaked, and I think that's what I'm tasting here. So this would not be my favorite of the bunch. This would not be one I'd run back and grab, because it's so sparse, spare, lean. Fresh, little acidity, nothing in the way of tannins. Hasn't been around skins, it hasn't been around oak, I don't think. Little spicy on the finish, but it's not like a wood spice or a European oak type of finish to me. So that's pretty interesting that they're so different, and then this one is really different than these two. These have been produced the same way, I think, with a little oak aging, and they use different kinds, different amounts of new oak and different amounts of used oak or neutral oak. And I'm still learning all that stuff. So it's so different than whiskey is. So I'm looking for one more flavor, one more aroma, or one more good thing to say about this one, but it is sparse, spare, lean. The acidity might be the biggest factor, and it's not that strong. I'm not picking up tannins, so that's about it on these three. I like both of these, and different parts of them are my favorite parts. So I will enjoy tasting these two a few more times. This one I've got to hurry up and finish now if I want to keep it, but it won't be hard, it just won't be as enjoyable as these two. So I think that's about it for this episode. So next time I'll come back with another set of reds. I'm thinking Cabernet Sauvignon. And I'll still be celebrating Christmas. And I might have a couple more episodes after the Cab set, where I'm doing maybe red blends from these countries. And maybe one of the distinctives or notable unique wines that's not from all three countries. So I'm picturing some of that in the future episodes. There will be 3 more after this. And my verse about wine today is from Jeremiah 31. And it says, "They shall be radiant over the goodness of the Lord, and over the grain, the wine, and the oil." So come back for the next episodes, and Merry Christmas. Not too bad.